Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how I make my little crochet dryer balls. And you can make them in solid colors or in stripes. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the striped ones. But you can make the stripes as big or as skinny as you like. I'll show you as we're going along. Or you can just make them solid colored. So for this project, you will need some classic wool roving. This is the Patons classic wool roving. This is a size 5 bulky yarn. So it just needs to be 100% wool, and really you could use any 100% wool, but the one I'm using today is a size 5 bulky. That's what will work for this pattern. And I will be using a size K crochet hook. And then we will also just need some little scissors and a little yarn needle to sew our dryer ball together. So let's get started. Choose the colors you like. I'm going to be using this pretty greenish color. It is called Low Tide, and this off-white color that is called Erin. So to start out, we're going to grab our green or whatever color you want to use. And we're going to do a magic circle. So to do that, we're going to drape the yarn over our hand, wrap it around the back of the hand, crisscross it here, and then wrap it around the back again. So you'll have an X here and 2 stripes here. Now you're going to take your hook and pass it under both stripes of yarn and grab this one right here, the second one, under the first one. Now you're going to grab that yarn again and pull it on through to chain 1, and that locks our magic circle. So pull your fingers out, and now we're just going to do a chain 1. We're going to do 9 single crochets in this magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to pull our magic circle closed, but we need to be a little bit careful when we're pulling because this wool roving will tear. So just pull your yarn so that your circle is all the way closed, but don't tug it so hard that you tear this. I have definitely done that a couple of times. And then I have to start over again because my circle doesn't close all the way. So there we go. As long as it is closed and our yarn is not broken, we are good to go. So now we are going to slip stitch on top of our first single crochet. Right there. Now we're going to do another row with the same color of green. Now if you want to make really skinny stripes, you could change your yarn color now, but I make my first 2 rows in the same color. So now we're going to chain 1. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in every single stitch around. So here's 1 in our first stitch, and there's 2. And in the next stitch, we're going to do 1 half double crochet and 2 half double crochets. And in the next one, 1 half double crochet and 2 half double crochets. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. There's another one and another 2. All right, and now at the end of that, I should have 18 half double crochets all the way around. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. There we go. So now I'm going to slip stitch onto the top of my very first half double crochet of that round. There we go. And I'm going to pull this yarn up just a little bit, snip it off, pull this loop through because now we are switching to our next color. So we're going to set our low tide aside for a moment and grab our next color, and we're going to be using this Aran, this off-white color, and I'm just going to push my hook through any stitch on the round, and I'm just going to draw up a loop of my other color, and I'm going to chain 1. Now for this row, we're going to be doing 1 half double crochet in one stitch and then 2 in the next, and then 1 in the next and 2 in the next. So in this first one, we'll do our 1 half double crochet, and in the next one we'll do 2. And I am just stitching a couple of times over my ends here, and then we're just going to push them to the inside of our work because the inside of our work is actually going to be the inside of our dryer ball, so we're never going to see it. And it helps to kind of stuff it a little bit. So there are 2 half double crochets in that one. Now in the next one, I'll do 1 half double crochet. And in the next, we do 2 half double crochets. And then 1 half double crochet. And I think we've gone over these ends enough, so I'm just going to push them behind my work. So that will be the inside of my ball, so we're just going to let that hang out there. And now in this next stitch, we'll do 2 half double crochets. And there's 1. And there's 2. And there's a 1. And then this one gets 2. One, and this one gets 2, and this one gets a 1, and this one gets 2, all the way around. And at the very end of this row, we should have 27 stitches. So we'll give those a count here in just a sec. Here's my last one, and this one's going to get 2 half double crochets. So let's count them and make sure I'm right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There we go. So on the top of this one, we're going to just slip stitch at the top of our very first one. All right, now I'm switching yarn colors again. So just snip your yarn and pull that loop through. And we're going to switch back to our pretty seafoam-ish green color, and just put your needle into any little stitch and draw up a loop, chain 1, and then in that same stitch do a half double crochet, and we're going to crochet over top of our end again just a couple of times. Now in this row we're just doing 1 half double crochet in every stitch, so we should have 27 again. So there's 2. This one, where our slip stitch is, will be 3. And there's a 4. And a 5. And now I'm just going to push my yarn ends into the back of my work. And that's going to be the inside of our ball, so we've got more little yarn ends to stuff it. The more, the better. And if you have any like extra little pieces of roving around, keep them because you can stuff them inside of your ball too. And just keep going all the way around with your half double crochets. Let's see, how many do we have so far? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, this will be 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and now we're just going to slip stitch into the very top of our first half double crochet. And now we're going to be changing colors one last time. So snip your yarn and pull that little loop through. And now let's grab our white yarn or whatever color you are using. I'm just going to put my hook into a stitch and draw up a loop wherever you are. And then just chain 1, and now we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So we'll have 27 single crochets at the end. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Now, I'm going to push the white yarn to the back, but I haven't gone over my green yet. So just make sure you've gone over your ends, all of your ends, both of your ends, a couple of times before you push it to the back. So let me stitch over this green a couple times before I push it back there. And there we go. All right. Oh. All right, let's count and see how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. And now we're just going to slip stitch into the top of our very first single crochet. And we are finished with this side. So we're going to pull our yarn out. This time we're going to snip it kind of long because we can use this end of the yarn to sew the 2 halves of our ball together. So we're going to put all of this yarn ends in here. See how we can just stuff it inside our ball there. And then we're going to repeat this process so that we have 2 of these. And I have already done that. So there's my other side of my ball. There. Now, what we need to do is make a yarn ball to stuff inside of this. So grab whichever color you want to use, or if there's a color that you don't like as much. I've got lavender here, I've got kind of a tan color. I'm just going to use, let's see, I've already got a little bit of a ball started of this tan color, so I'm just going to wrap this ball up a little more. And there we go. And then, which yarn should I use? I'm going to use the greenish color because I have a lot of it. It doesn't matter what color you use, but this color is not going to be seen. And so it's kind of like you're just hiding these pretty colors, so pick the color that you like the least. I actually went to the Goodwill near me and I was hoping to find just an old 100% wool sweater that I could unravel so that I could use the yarn so that I wasn't using my pretty roving to stuff inside of my dryer balls. But I live in Florida, so I could not find any 100% wool sweaters in my Goodwill. But if you have any old sweaters or old socks, this might be a good thing, but it does need to be 100% wool so that it felt right. So just make sure of that. But yeah, this would be just a great little project for just some old yarn that you don't like, or if you found some yarn on clearance that was 100% wool. It does not matter what color it is, so stock up on that so you can stuff your dryer balls, because we are just making a big yarn ball that is going to fit inside of here. And so just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. And winding and winding and winding your yarn around. And then we can grab a little measuring tool here to make sure that our ball is about the size that we want it to be. So let me set this down and grab my measuring tape here. So you want your ball to be approximately 2.5 inches in diameter. So kind of place your measuring tape above and you can look and see if it's gotten to about that point, and then just keep wrapping until you're about there. All right, and I am just about there. Let's see. About 2.5 inches, maybe a tiny bit more, but I think that was about 2.5 inches. And then, yeah, so let's snip our yarn. And we've got a little yarn ball to stuff in here. Now first I'm going to go ahead and start stitching the two halves together before I put my big yarn ball in there. So let's see if I can thread this needle here. And there we go. All right, so we're just going to grab this little half and this little half, and we're just going to whip stitch them together. Nothing fancy, just attach them. These stitches won't be really seen very well because you're going to stick your dryer ball in the washing machine, and this wool roving is going to felt. So it doesn't really matter how you stitch it because your stitches aren't going to be seen. They will be a tiny bit, like if you look. This one, so this is where my single crochets are and my stitches are in between. I guess you can see a little bit of whip stitching there, but see how it kind of felt and mats together, so it doesn't really matter too much. But they're kind of cute when they're striped like this. I like them. My laundry room is actually lavender, so I like having pretty lavender balls in there, and I thought the sage green went really pretty with the lavender, so that's what's going on in my laundry room. But it's kind of fun. They sell this wool roving in all different colors. Last time I saw it, they had these really beautiful, like bold colors, like the bold, you know, when you get a package of markers and it's the bold like magenta and emerald green and all that. They had those colors there, and I thought that was so pretty. These would be so beautiful to give as gifts, I think, like if you like made dryer balls to match your friends' homes or laundry rooms. Be kind of a fun little gift to give, maybe with some essential oils, because you can shake essential oils onto your dryer balls before you toss them into your dryer, and they make your laundry smell so good. Oh, all right, so we're just going to continue stitching until we're about halfway around, and then we'll put our yarn ball in the center, and then we will continue stitching it up. let's see, that's about halfway, maybe a little more. So I'm going to grab my yarn ball and push it on in there. All right, and you'll notice now, you'll probably notice that it feels like the yarn ball inside is a little bit too small for your little crochet ball, right? Like it doesn't fill it or stuff it all the way. Like you have like a little bit of loose like fabric and stuff here, but that is totally okay, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna wash this a couple of times. Whenever you do a hot or warm load of laundry, you're gonna stick these dryer balls in there, and you're gonna wanna wash them about 5 times, about 5 loads of laundry. And when you do that, it's going to felt and it's gonna shrink just a little bit. So then once it shrinks, it's gonna fit all really, really, really snug against that yarn ball, and then it'll be nice and firm too. Nice and firm and snug. You can see I can't like pinch the crochet outside ball anymore. It's all felted to the inside one. So if it feels a little loose, don't worry. You made it right. It's perfectly fine. And you can just stitch it all the way around. When you're doing this, don't pull your roving too tight because again, it will tear and then you have to grab a new piece of yarn to stitch your halves of your circle together. All right, once you are all the way back to the beginning, you do one more little stitch. You're just gonna take your yarn and I like to run it all the way through my ball, or like kind of like through the edge there, just to hide the end of it. And there we go, just pull it on through, and then you can just snip this yarn off. It doesn't matter if there's a tiny little end there because it's going to get felted in there. And your yarn dryer ball is all done. Now, so what do we do now? So now we are going to throw these into the washing machine. Anytime you have a hot or a warm cycle, the hotter the better when you're felting wool. So hot cycle is better, and you want to do that about 5 times. And then once you do, they're going to look like this. They're going to be all nice and matted. They'll shrink down a little bit because they'll fit all snug against the little yarn ball that is inside. And yeah, then you'll have these cute little dryer balls you can toss into your dryer to help your clothes dry faster, and you can shake a little essential oils on them to make them smell so good. And that is it, y'all. You've got some beautiful little dryer balls for yourself or to make as a gift for someone else.